Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's weather update. So, we have a raging blizzard across the central and northern plains this afternoon, and as of 1:40 p.m. Central Standard Time, we have heavy snow across most of Nebraska, South Dakota, into southeastern North Dakota, as well as northwestern Kansas, including Sioux Falls, Aberdeen, Fargo, North Platte, Lincoln, and even down towards Dodge City, Kansas, and this snow is going to continue through at least the next 24 to 36 hours across these areas. Looking at the latest National Weather Service watches, warnings, and advisories for our winter weather, we have widespread winter weather advisories across central northern Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, western Iowa, into much of Minnesota, portions of North Dakota in the light purples. And then we have some winter storm warnings in parts of northern or southern Nebraska, into eastern Nebraska, eastern South Dakota. However, we do have some winter storm watches in western Nebraska, eastern Colorado, but all across the center of the screen, we have a blizzard warning for northeastern Colorado, northwest Kansas, much of central, in fact, most of the state of Nebraska, into most of the state of South Dakota. In orange, we have our blizzard warnings. Blizzard conditions, snow accumulation of 9 to 17 inches, and northwest winds as high as 55 miles per hour until 6 a.m. Central Standard Time Wednesday for Nebraska across northwest Kansas. Blizzard warning until 5 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time Wednesday for 2 to 8 inches of snow and winds gusting as high as 60 miles per hour. And then looking at our blizzard warning across South Dakota, we have 7 to 13 inches of snow and wind gusts as high as 45 miles per hour from Monday 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time through Tuesday 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So this is a very serious and impactful blizzard ongoing across most of the Central Plains. And looking at these dark purples across northeastern South Dakota, southeastern North Dakota, including Grand Forks and Aberdeen and Watertown, these are ice storm warnings in effect until noon tomorrow Central Standard Time. Significant icing, additional snow accumulations up to 2 inches, and ice accumulations of 0.2 to half an inch. This is going to be causing some very treacherous to near impossible driving conditions, power outages for many people, and especially with the winds gusting to 45 miles per hour, tree damage as well. And up towards North Dakota, our ice storm warning goes into effect at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time this evening and ends 6 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow evening, with ice accumulations of 1/4 to half an inch and winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. So expect power outages, near impossible driving conditions, and tree damage here as well. Now, taking a look at our 18Z run of the HRRR model to time out our winter storm, our blizzard. Our blizzard is going to continue all evening tonight to tomorrow morning across South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, even getting as far west as Colorado, going into about 12 p.m. Central Time tomorrow. Still widespread moderate snow across most of the plains and freezing rain across the Dakotas going through tomorrow. Snow continues across Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado, and starts to spread into Missouri and Kansas as we go into Wednesday morning. And eventually, as we're going into about 3 to 5 a.m. Wednesday morning Central Time, our snow will taper off across South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, but continue around the center of the low pressure in Missouri and Iowa all the way through late morning on Wednesday, December the 27th. So this is going to result in, this is on top of what we've already seen. So let me show you how much snow that we've seen so far across the plains. Looking at our snowfall accumulation map for our 24-hour snowfall. And yeah, many areas across the plains in these purple areas have seen 5 to 8 inches of snowfall accumulation already. In Brookings, Sioux Falls, Yanktown, Sioux City, Norfolk, Omaha, Lincoln, we've already seen a good 5 to 8 inches of snow. Pockets as high as 12 inches have already fallen around Lincoln and Beatrice. So the snowfall totals you see in the models are what's going to be added onto what's already fallen across the plains here. So looking at our snowfall accumulations, we can expect an additional 1 to 3 inches of snow in Missouri, Iowa, much of Kansas, and then northwest Kansas into southern Nebraska in the blues. A good 2 to 6 inches going into eastern Colorado as well, eastern South Dakota. And then once we start getting into the purples, far northwest Kansas, central northern Nebraska, we're looking at another 6 to 12 inches of snowfall accumulation extending into southeastern Wyoming. But once we start looking at South Dakota here, this is the bullseye for our blizzard. We can expect an additional 12 to 24 inches of snow across much of the central western portion of the state. And notice we're seeing pockets as high as 30 inches of snow in portions of South Dakota. Could be seeing isolated locations seeing as much as 2.5 feet of snow from this. So major snowfall from this blizzard across South Dakota, maybe even into portions of eastern Wyoming, northwest Nebraska as well. Now, timing out our ongoing ice storm. Going into this afternoon and this evening, a heavy freezing rain will spread into northwest Minnesota, the eastern Dakotas, continue all night going into tomorrow morning around 7 to 9 a.m. Still freezing rain across North and South Dakota, and then this will continue all day tomorrow across North and Northern South Dakota, looking at a very dangerous ice storm as a result before the freezing rain diminishes into tomorrow evening and Wednesday morning. So looking at our ice accretion map, 18-0 of the HRRR model, looking at a widespread quarter to half an inch of ice across South and North Dakota. However, where you see some of these reds and dark pinks, the model is indicating we could see up to and even over an inch of freezing rain in some of these areas. So the model does overdo the ice accumulations several times, but however, I wouldn't be surprised if we see several locations seeing up to 3/4 of an inch of ice accretion across southeast North Dakota, northern South Dakota, and this would result in widespread tree damage, power outages, and impossible travel conditions if we do end up seeing 3/4 of an inch to an inch of ice accretion, which is very possible. And finally, closing out the video with the official National Weather Service's watches, warnings, and advisories map. We do have winter storm warnings across portions of Washington State, Oregon, even an ice storm warning across southwestern Washington State. However, the main show is the central and northern plains with blizzard warnings across northeast Colorado, northwest Kansas, most of Nebraska and South Dakota. In the oranges, the ice storm warnings across southeast North Dakota, northeast South Dakota, and widespread winter weather advisories in these purple areas, some winter storm watches in the blues, high wind warnings across northeastern Colorado in the tans, and on the dividing line of the blizzard and winter storm advisories, winter storm warnings in the pinks. So Merry Christmas, my friends. If you live across the central northern plains especially, make sure you're please staying safe due to this very impactful blizzard. Merry Christmas. Please stay safe and have a wonderful Christmas, my friends.